Watercourse Commission, and we may as well just do a voice roll call of who is here. Actually, Amy is here remotely.
Rodney Galton.
Sandy Eggers.
Chris McDonald.
Rainey Legault.
All right, we figured that made it easier since we did not hear from,
Paul Archer is absent in notification.
Paul Archer's absent, but we did not hear from Karina, which
We
is
have not.
unusual. Okay. So everyone's acting as a full voting member this evening. Okay, citizens first of all, adoption of the minutes, July 7th, 2025, regular meeting.
Motion to adopt the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of the July 7th, 2025 regular meeting as presented. Any discussion or changes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Amy, can Amy hear us?
Oh, that's right. Okay, both alternates.
Yes. Yes. Can Amy hear us?
I believe she can, I can as well. I don't know what she wants.
I don't know if
She
she's
said-
having issue unmuting or not.
Okay, that could be. Okay, citizens' participation. It appears that everyone is here for an application, but if there's anything else that anyone would like to address other than the application. Okay, hearing none, we'll move right on to unfinished business. First item is application 25-1608 of Hemlock Construction representing the Killingly Board of Education. Is for construction of the new access road for the high school athletic fields. Actually, can you give us a quick rundown on the changes before they start their presentation? That might help.
Yep, and you'll notice the description has
Go on.
slightly changed
Yep.
on the agenda because the new revised plan involves no direct impact or filling of the
Perfect.
wetland. All the activity, not all the activity, but most of the activity is in upland review. That being said, this is a kind of a play on option one. I believe it was option 1B with a sidewalk, 22 feet, I believe, wide road.
24 feet wide.
24? Yep.
Yeah, we kept the existing bi-directional width so that the school could have their.
Perfect. Okay, so 24 foot wide. There is retaining wall, a modular retaining wall in one area, but not the full length, and a guardrail being introduced into the project. But that being said, we do have Thomas Ryan from VHB here representing the applicants. So I would probably switch over to him.
Probably makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Ryan, want to give us your take on this? It looks like it
Yeah,
addressed a lot of
yes,
concerns.
from the last meeting, which I wasn't at, but I watched the replay to see what your concerns were. And, it was, what we tried to do is give you what you wanted and give the school what they wanted. The trade-off is it's a bit more, quite a bit more expensive with the walls. But we put walls up and we shifted the roadway alignment into the existing embankment and notched in a little bit and put a small modular wall there. So that we eliminated all wetland impact by doing so, but at the same time increased the cost. So it was, the school agreed to it. Hemlock is pricing it right now. We won't know the exact difference in cost, but it will increase. And that school Susan was accepting of it. We had discussions before we submitted this to you guys, so we think it's a good compromise position for everybody. So
Okay, right now,
hopefully you guys move through it. If you got any questions, let me know.
yeah, right now it's just taking a few minutes for some reviewing of the plans. Did anything pop out at you yet, Rodney? I know this was just thrown at you.
I actually reviewed all the attachments that were emailed.
Okay, yep,
So, I only had one concern, and that was, a lot of the slope protection, well, excuse me, not a lot, but the key-in at the bottom of the slope is below the existing grade.
which page are you on, just out of curiosity?
It would be,
Sheet
sheet
5
6 of 15.
of 6.
So
6 of
looking
15,
at-
yep, right here.
Yes, I'm looking at that detail.
The rock fill slope protection, is that what
Yes.
you're talking about?
Yep, and that key-in is below existing grade. am a bit concerned that I don't see any sort of, pipe system, underneath this, to try to help keep that dry, so to keep all the crushed stone in place, to make sure stuff doesn't slide. That would be a concern of mine, because I do see that this is on filter fabric. So,
It's a general convention that you don't underdrain the base of stone slope. Details all that we use for the state of Connecticut and all other towns, it's not usually, it's not a necessary condition.
okay,
We wouldn't know where to outlet it as well. The stone slope protection really is there for slope stability, but as well to mitigate any fines that might wash out. We thought it was a good idea adjacent to the wetlands, such that if you just try to keep surface establishment, a lot of times what happens is the sediment washes down a hill in the back bank, and you get the wetland all choked up with fines and silt. So,
okay.
All right, and did any of you guys have any other questions? Because I'm just curious, I did not, maybe I just didn't look at it, I did not see the remarks from engineering. Want to fill us in on anything that our engineering department had to say as well?
So I met briefly with Dave this morning.
Because I didn't think I saw that, did I, anywhere?
No,
Okay.
Dave didn't have a formal memo. He did apologize. He had
Okay.
Other commitments today. But we did go over the application. He had a few small notes, particularly if the board or the commission is looking to move forward. In the end, obviously, he would like the plan sealed, endorsed by the engineer. He wanted verification just in regards to turning radius, particularly at the top. And maybe that's something Mr. Ryan can touch on right now in terms of just making sure that, obviously, being designed as a
Yeah.
fire road, it can meet.
yeah, we designed it for a large bus turning radius. Or a fire truck, a large bus or a fire. We looked at both. We looked at fire trucks and we looked at
Okay.
long bus, a big school bus, or like a team bus type of thing, so.
Okay.
Both are accommodated there easily.
And then, just a general note would be subject to oversight of the town's engineering department throughout the project. So that way,
So the turning radius was his only actual question, the others are the typical housekeeping?
Yep. Yep, his only actual question was in regards to turning radius, the endorsement being housekeeping, and then just subject to oversight of the town engineer.
Which is becoming pretty much standard.
Pretty much standard. That way we can, team them up with probably Alec from engineering to help oversee this, as it's more of a road construction project, being that it's an upland review, and we can coordinate on the wetland side, and then any major modification would come back to the board.
Now, you've done enough plans that I kind of wonder when you suggest something that maybe it probably makes a little bit of sense. How comfortable are you or are you not with that?
I am not the engineer of record on this project, so.
But you've
if
done
he-
enough that
If
he's comfortable with it,
he's
you're.
comfortable and he's gonna be stamping these plans, and that's his call.
Sounds good.
If we have a problem with the ground slumping because it gets saturated, then it's gonna be on VHB.
That's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? It seems like this is a lot different,
A lot different, yeah.
and address most of the concerns, as far as I can see.
We're still going with a sidewalk, right?
Yes,
Yep.
Yep.
Which they're gonna end up wanting anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
right, and it's on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was more the,
The proximity to the wetlands and the
Mhm.
arrangement before.
correct,
We removed that issue.
right. I think that's what, I don't wanna speak for anybody, but I think that's what our biggest issue was, right?
I guess.
mean, start losing sidewalks, start narrowing this if you're gonna have wetland impact.
Yep.
But no wetland impact, so.
Build a runway. mean, really, I mean,
Yeah.
you're out of the wetlands.
That, I mean, that corner, wetland flag 108, which is just very tight, I feel like.
I noticed.
For that retaining wall, there's almost no room for
Which
slope.
sheet are you on?
I'm on 7 right now because it's a little bit more of a zoom in. But just, I mean, if we're talking in that main one, you know, at the scale of 1 to 20 on the sheet 3, you know, we're talking about, it's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 foot wide section of that rockfill slope that's just built up from, I'm not sure what the original grade is to what it's gonna be. It looks like 400. You know, that's a lot right there, right on that corner, but I'm not an engineer, so if the maths, that's fine. I'm just, it's a very tight corner of the wetland, and it's pinched right next to the road. I just, like, you know, if we're gonna be doing snow plowing down this, I don't know what the plan is for that kind of thing, where that's gonna go. If it goes off the side of the road, right there with very little room on the side of the road, it's right in wetland. That's my,
Well, there is a curb line,
oh, there, okay.
so it shouldn't be that big of a problem, I wouldn't think. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I was just, it's a very tight corner that I was looking at it going,
Yeah, it is very.
which is all the more reason for just oversight from the town as this is being constructed and built to make sure that, you know, gets
Alright.
installed.
And more on a processing end, I'm sure Hemlock can speak to this, but trees that are being removed,
Mhm.
are being fully removed from the site or chipped and relocated somewhere else?
Fully removed.
Fully removed from the site, okay.
Would you want that in the plans?
It is, there's a
Or
few,
it's in the narrative?
There are a few notes and stuff, I just wanna make sure.
It's in the narrative, okay.
The only other thing, that I had, which I didn't see anywhere, was I think we should condition, the plans to include, the installation of an exclusion fence at the wetland line itself. That way, everybody understands
Mhm.
where that wetland line is, and they know not to go beyond that wetland line.
There's a lot more activity down there now.
Yes.
Okay, would that be a motion to approve this application with contingent upon the plans actually being sealed, oversight by the engineering department and a fence line?
It's
At
some
the
sort of
wetlands?
exclusion fence at the wetland line, yes.
During this project, we're gonna have someone from planning and zoning there monitoring on a daily basis during construction.
Engineering department.
Engineering
Yep,
department?
yeah, so the
That's what
goal
was
would be
added.
a combination of, my office, myself or Allison, and then Alec, most likely from
Okay.
engineering, and then if need be, we would bring Dave in if we have any
Okay.
more technical.
Cause I wanna make sure we have our people there.
Of course.
And there's no, shortcuts being taken.
Yep, there would have to be coordination between our offices and Hemlock, on this project.
Okay, very good, thank you.
So let me be clear, you wanted this plan stamped, or what was the other, condition?
Oversight by the engineering department and apparently also
Okay.
the planning department, so it would be
Okay,
working with
Certainly.
the engineering department and that, and some kind of
Okay.
exclusionary barrier at the wetlands.
Yes.
yeah, I believe that's on the plans, that we have the silt fence on there.
Yeah, I just, being a civil engineer myself, I've been on a lot of construction sites where, people don't really, stay on the correct side of the silt fence. So it's very easy to jump over the silt fence, when need be, and work inside the wetlands as necessary. So, I think something a little different, you know, even maybe, you know, the bright orange, snow fence or something like that, or the bright orange construction fence, something a little bit beefier, not so easy
Okay.
to jump over.
Yep, and that's during construction.
That's during construction, correct.
Okay. And so I believe that's a motion?
Is that a motion?
That is a motion.
And is a motion made and seconded to approve application 25-1608, contingent upon the plans actually being sealed by the engineer, oversight by both our engineering and planning department, and exclusionary fence or barrier of substance at the wetlands during construction. Okay, any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That's what, I'm still wondering, I didn't think
Amy,
we
are
had
you
any
unmuted? Are you able to? I'm thinking she's having some
technical
technical
difficulties in general.
difficulties.
Yeah, I'm seeing on my screen that she's unverified, and I guess that might have any play into it, but.
That shouldn't impact in this, but, I'm just gonna, it's a non-vote, I guess, from Amy at this point.
Yeah, that's what we'd have to do.
So
So it'd be,
4-0-1.
Yep.
Right.
all right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Much different
you.
plan.
Yes, thank you very much.
We'll submit you a
Thank you.
revised set of plans, hopefully this week.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, thank you very much.
Okay, our next item is application 25-1609 of Frank D. Felice, restoration of the stone wall sections at the edge of the pond, 65 Bear Hill Road.
Nope.
Yeah, something odd there.
He's from
Hemlock,
Hemlock Construction.
so we should be able to,
Should be able to get that information off the,
last minute.
yeah.
John, what's the gentleman's name from Hemlock that was here? So she has it for the minutes.
I will have to get you that. I don't have that off the top of my head.
I'm looking, we actually don't have it, and he's,
I want to
That
say
seems
on the
odd.
site walk I had it, my site walk minutes, because he was part of the site walk.
Hemlock.
representative
I'll
of
get you that in the
Hemlock
morning.
Construction.
So.
All right.
we're
Fill
on
us
the
in
next-
on Frank D. Felice.
So Frank's application is pretty straightforward. It's a restoration of an existing stone wall. The reason it's coming before the board is in his description, he is requesting to be able to utilize a machine to physically remove material from an obvious edge of a wetland slash watercourse. That being said, on the staff side, provided such machine is not driving through, if it's acting from the dry side over, and during a drier portion of the year, I don't have any other comments beyond that.
And it does no new fill, just reusing excavated material.
His description was trying to utilize as much of the stone wall,
Yeah.
existing stone wall as possible. Even if some rock was introduced from off-site onto the stone wall itself, because it's not in the wetland,
Mhm.
I would have no objection.
Yeah, it's just rock anyhow, it's not like
Yep.
it's piled of dirt.
Right, bringing in new rocks. I just meant don't bring in fill to level out and
Yeah,
pour
no,
on the other side. Okay.
Yeah, the ask is not to do any fill or leveling on the other side based off this, so he's trying, reusing old materials, stone.
Mhm.
He actually says 0 new fill.
Okay. Yeah.
You know one thing, Jonathan?
Yeah.
I don't understand why we're putting so much money, or this gentleman's putting so much money into this property if he's gonna use it 2 weeks out of the year.
So this one is a different property. This is slightly down the road from, so historically, we had 90 Bear Hill.
Okay.
This is 65. So
Okay.
65 Bear Hill, I believe at one point the plan was to put a full single-family house there.
Okay.
And I believe
I think when
there's a septic system on the property. It's just the project never moved.
Rodney had just
Okay.
commented too and had a very insightful thought that we should probably get an as-built and have records on everything that transpires on the property. Just as a record, because as we were following some of the other issues
Mhm.
with the properties. There were sometimes questions on the timelines of when things were done,
Okay.
and I think that might help.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So-
And, you feel free to tell Frank that we're just concerned about making sure that there is a written history
Yes.
of what goes on the property.
Okay, so in reference to an as-built, are we talking an A2 in that area, or more of a pictorial? Like-
No, doesn't have to be A2.
Okay,
Doesn't have to be A2 standards, but I think, although it probably should be, to be honest, A2, T2.
okay,
Because, and I don't know what the height of that wall is now. It looks like the areas that haven't been pushed in are about 18 inches high, if I'm estimating correctly.
for like 5 or 6 courses,
Yeah.
probably, of that side stone?
Yeah.
Yep.
So to me, it looks about 18 inches high. Right?
Okay,
I think we should probably have him do an A2, T2
okay,
survey on the wall after it's reconstructed.
okay. So condition of approval being an A2/T2 survey?
Yes.
Just certifying the final state of the wall.
Yes.
It
The
could-
location, the center line location on the wall and the height of the wall.
And could obviously be limited to just that wall line. We're not looking for the rest of the property.
Yeah, absolutely, yep. Just where that work is occurring.
Okay,
And like Sandy said, it's just because there was so many questions around the other property.
And
there.
feel free to tell him, because we're not trying to hide something from him.
Right, yeah.
And I think that Frank's well aware of the difficulty we had trying to just put everything in place with his other property.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we'd like to avoid that and just know what's there.
okay. Yeah, I mean, part of the packet is a zoom in from an existing survey. I want to say that's PC Survey had done that, so I imagine that would most likely who he would go with, probably keep the costs down.
Yep.
But if that's a condition of approval, or your motion with an additional approval, we will make sure that he follows that.
Is that a motion?
Motion.
Seconded.
Motion's made and seconded to approve application 25-1609 of Frank D. Felice, contingent upon an A2T2 survey just in the area where the work has occurred on that wall at completion, and basically an as-built given to the town
Okay.
for that. Okay, any other discussion? Once again, can we try to see if Amy's,
I
It
think
just
she's
shows muted.
tried to rejoin once, so I'm gonna request that she unmutes, let's see.
Here, now you can hear me, right?
Oh,
Yes,
perfect.
you're back.
All right.
Yay.
Had you been able to hear us at all?
But what's that?
Had you been able to hear us, Amy?
Yes, I have, and I have voted. I have affirmed
Okay,
everything. So-
okay.
So you're
Sorry.
clarifying then on that first one, you were a yes vote?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
yes.
Okay, and on this one as well, were you following that we do want basically an as-built of what goes on that property?
Yes, excellent idea.
Okay, so
So we have a
Amy is
motion
yes
and
on,
a
a motion's
second.
been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, you've got everybody this time.
There we go.
Thank you. It's nice to have you back, Amy.
Oh, thank you.
All right, now you're here for new business as well. Okay,
Yes.
Was anything else to be added afterwards, or just this one item?
I received one today that was for Alexander's Lake, and I did look through section 1 of our regulations that does specify the date of receipt. It's supposed to be, if the application is submitted 3 business days prior to the meeting. If not, the date of receipt would be 35 days or the next meeting.
So technically, we have to hold off on that one.
Technically, you have to hold off. I can pull it up. I don't have the folder here because it was still being processed. I do have the survey. I can pull it up on the screen to show you guys when we get to that one, if you wanted to entertain kicking it to staff. Otherwise, you would see it next month.
Well, we'll go ahead with this one first.
Yep.
Okay, first item is application 25-1611 of Stephen Bergeron, construction of a single-family residence with all of the amenities within 200 feet, and it is a free split for the subdivision at 114 Bear Hill Road.
This is a pretty straightforward free split. The plans were submitted with the agenda. We do have a letter from Joe Thoreau as well regarding the wetlands, the characteristics of the wetlands. The entire project is within your 200-foot upland review. They made a point on the plan by PC survey to maintain the 25-foot non-disturbance buffer. The closest is your septic system, there are 2 wells. I did ask for clarity from Mr. Twilliger on that. There's an existing well that's noted right in the wetland that's on the property. The intention is to abandon said well. And then there's a proposed well. So that septic system location does work with that other well being decommissioned. I believe it's just a hand-dug old well. So at this point on this one, it'd be if you guys want to do either just receiving it or scheduling it for a site walk or kicking it to staff. Any and all options are on the table.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I don't think we need a site walk on this one. I think it should come back though, don't you though, for
yeah.
regular?
Yes.
Yeah, it
Okay.
should come back. It should not be just thrown. Anything that jumps at you though that they should work on before next month?
Yes, there was one thing, I didn't notice it on the packet earlier today, and I still don't see it here,
Okay.
and that is any sort of footing drain. Did I miss it? Because it sounds like there's redox features, according to Joe Thoreau's letter, there's redox features very shallow. So that means there's high groundwater.
Yep. And this is a raised ranch. I'm not seeing. It says no drains in the notation of
Yes,
the. But I don't see anything else called out. I know that particular item has been something that the health department has been more proactive in checking for to prevent issue, footing drains and everything. They want to see the locations with the septics. But they're calling no drains, but we can ask for clarity.
I'm curious about that.
Check on that, and they've gotta have the health department approval anyhow, and all that.
Just reading Joe's, I understand it's a raised ranch, but you still have footings that are getting buried there.
Yep.
I'm curious as to what their thought process is there, given how high the groundwater appears to be here.
Okay. Yeah, we can relay that over to Paul. I imagine Paul Twilliger would be presenting to you guys next month.
All right, do we have a motion to table this without a public hearing or site walk?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Amy? Did we
Yes,
lose you?
aye, yes.
Can I?
We don't wanna lose you. You were amongst the missing for too long.
I might have a late
Yes.
question, but it doesn't change my my vote. Do we have any? So I've. Oh, sorry, my mic is very feedbacky. For single-family residences like this, like I don't know if we require it or if there's a requirement in the rules. I've read them, but my brain juggles 2 sets of rules for Tuesday.
Oh,
Do we have any requirements for any kind of like stormwater structures for single-family houses, like rain gardens or anything? No, okay.
We don't.
Just triple check.
Yep.
Okay, under correspondence to the commission, we may as well at least see what came in.
Okay, so I have a couple different ones here.
Yep.
So the newest one that came in, and let me pull it up, is going to be the best way to do it. So this would be 86 Island Road. The way it will appear on the agenda, most likely for next month, would be application 25-1612 of Glenn Guy Senior, 86 Island Road. It is demolition of a cottage, which was already demoed.
Did hear about that.
Demolition of a cottage, and then
Big house,
a new one.
big house.
A new one. Well, every one of these, because of the sewer moratorium, are looked at in regards to like total number of bedrooms and flows. So it's not a blanket, you can just put a much larger home anymore there because of the sewer moratorium. Just give me 1 second here because it is requiring me to log in. I believe that's part of the conversation with Dave, and that is something on every application, is a back and forth between myself and the engineering department, Dave, just to make sure everything's in kind. And that even goes for a general example. If you had a vacant hairdresser's location and a new one a couple years later wants to come in, we're still looking at what are the flows currently, what are now the proposed flows, how many chairs, how many days a week. All of that is part of the review. So it's
It's involved.
it's involved. It makes it so we can't give a clear answer always in terms of the details of certain projects. But this home, we will get that answer in terms of the number of bedrooms and whatnot. So let me see if I can share this.
While you're doing that, may I ask a related question?
Of course.
This sounds like this is a review period prior to the construction of the addition to the sewer system. When will we know, when will we have the figures and the plan for the new septic system?
Last I heard, we are still on the same timeline of 5 to 7 years on the optimistic side in terms of a potential resolution. They're looking at design features, things that can be done to supplement the plant, albeit maybe a Band-Aid, something to help
Yes.
us with capacity or with treatment. There's ongoing negotiations with Frito-Lay right now of the
That's what I was gonna
existing
ask you, if that's
discharge.
any-
Yeah.
So I don't have those exact answers for timeline or
Right.
anything. I could ask Dave, maybe by the next meeting, if he has a clearer answer, maybe we could relay that to you guys.
Well, nothing that is absolutely pertinent to anything that I'm doing, but as we talk about these things, I'm just wondering how long this will be. And other places, there's also the other on-site septic solutions. We mentioned there are smaller autonomous sewer systems, like if we
Yeah.
were to have a big project, yeah.
So if someone normally would connect, say they're within that 200 feet,
Yeah.
and they can't because of the sewer moratorium, they're allowed to
Yeah.
explore alternatives, be it a private
Yeah.
septic system on site, and it would be subject to review by the Northeast District Department of Health. Hypothetically, if they were approved and the building was constructed, 40 plus years from now, if they ever had an issue with that system, or whenever they had an issue with that system, and the sewer line no longer has we no longer have the moratorium, they most likely be required to connect, similar
Yeah.
to how it was in the past with older systems, now with that availability.
Yes. Right.
So
Thank you.
86 Island Road, that's the plan that you are looking at here on the screen. It is a relatively, I'll say, maxed out home in terms of side or all the setbacks. It is a box. This is fairly common. Sometimes they will look to do that just for permitting process for wetlands. I do have actually the house plans for this one as well that were dropped off today. Pretty typical A-frame-ish style home. So relatively basic, but we will be looking at the number of bedrooms as it relates to what was there. That is part of the review process for sewer. That's a little separate than here, obviously, but a contingent thing on anything where it has a sewer connection, it's subject to the review of WPCA. That's going to happen no matter
I
what.
just assume see it come back to us next month, not to,
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes sense. I think absolutely.
it's not ready to
Yep.
be acted upon, and
Yeah, I do have.
we have a later meeting next month, I know, but it's not like this is going up between now and then.
I do have like some notes going into it, and I will relay it to the surveyor and engineer. Is I would like to see some spot grades and some topography on these plans. There's existing retaining wall. I assume the shoreline that's being depicted is elevation 251, but it should say that. Just like finished floor, proposed spot elevations, be pretty standard on there.
So actually, we're looking at an October action because we can't technically accept it this evening, correct?
So if you guys chose not to receive it this evening, which I don't think you can per the regulations,
I don't think we can accept it.
you would your only alternative is receiving it next month.
Yep.
Because it was submitted today, or transferring it to staff. Those are the.
I'd rather see it come in next month, and if we choose to transfer it to staff at that point, it's one thing, but
That came in today,
Yep.
so we don't have to accept it anyway.
no. that's
No,
what I
no.
mean.
The under the Section 1 regulations,
I don't think we
it's
can.
3 business days.
Well, to your point, I don't think, even if we did, they got this started, I don't think they're gonna finish this and.
All right, so I think that was just informational.
Yeah, that was just informational.
What else do you have for correspondence?
Okay. The next one for correspondence, and I will also try to share on the screen, but I have a hard copy of, is 90 Putnam Pike.
Gather around, let us see what this
And
is.
this is a fairly typical process that normally most surveyors and engineers wouldn't ask. They are doing due diligence on 90 Putnam Pike for future development. It is zoned general commercial, and there is a temporary wetlands crossing that they would like to make with mats. To be able to do soil testing on the other side. There's a large area, it's already all been redelineated and surveyed, but there's a large area past the wetlands that they want to do some test holes. And to do that, they have to get a piece of machinery across. So they
And they
are.
were actually checking.
Oops. And yes, they were actually checking beforehand. The conversation with them also would involve coordination with staff. When they have the temporary mats up there, we would want to be on site, and we would also want to be. We'd also want to see all the mats removed from the site. And if you hold on for me, I can probably pull up this one. It's simpler. Just hold on, Amy. That way I can share it for you.
Thank you.
It is close to the high school. Amy, I don't know if you can see
I
this.
can.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So
Okay.
it's just they're indicating the narrowest point of the delineated wetlands, where hypothetically, if they deemed it as part of a future wetlands application, might be where you would put a crossing, a more permanent crossing. This is a temporary crossing. If this was a, yep, if this was a forestry activity, it would be as of right, to kind of do, but.
Well, to me, you know, they need it for engineering purposes.
Yep.
So to me, it is kind of a as of right. They have to do their
Yeah.
due diligence, right? But, I am curious, is this wetland a water course or no?
No,
Okay.
no.
Because that changes the type of crossing.
Yep.
you
Yeah,
know?
I believe this going through here is your more traditional wetland going through it. There on Putnam Pike, there's a few areas we've already met with the Soli team to talk about some areas where there's some springs that kind of just come out of the hill that we see fairly often. So they're going to be looking at pretty robust tests, geo tests, and for potential septic systems, wells, all of that. So yes, to me, I agree. I felt this was more due diligence. It's just
Right.
kind of normal.
Yes.
But because they are crossing and they asked,
Yep.
I felt it would go to you guys.
Yeah, it's, you know, some states, we're not obligated. We just send in notification to the local
Yep.
municipality saying, we're doing soil testing for a future project.
Mhm.
And they can't deny us that opportunity to cross the wetland, right?
Yeah.
We can't tear it up, but obviously they can't deny us that. But what, I am curious that, the reason why I asked if that was a water course, because there's like a 50-foot drop across
Yeah, it's steep there.
Yeah.
that wetland. That's why I thought maybe it was a water course.
And admittedly, I have not walked this portion yet, but
Okay.
my understanding is it's just a wetland there.
Mhm.
We have no defined water courses up in that area. There might be standing water, but
Sure.
we would be asking to coordinate with them
Okay.
this part of it anyways. It's not that far from the road. I don't mind walking out there
Right.
when they are putting the mats
I
in.
give them credit for
Scale,
notifying.
100 feet.
Yes, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, appreciate the
That
ask.
isn't typical.
But
Yeah.
if there is standing water, or if it's a water course, I can send you pictures of the typical crossings that.
A different type of detail. Yep.
Yeah, it's timber mats,
Mhm.
but it's basically a bridge.
On like a barge type.
No,
No?
they just stack the timber mats in a way that it actually creates a bridge.
Okay.
And I can send you pictures from one that we actually did in Plainfield.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see the
Because
detail.
they,
Yeah.
you know, these guys are used to working in utility right-of-ways,
Mhm.
and they are pros at this type of
Mhm.
stuff. And if there is standing water, or if that's a water course, I think you're gonna need to go
The extra
more
step.
in that direction than just laying the mats down in the wetland. So,
Agreed. And
yeah.
I'll be looking to
Yeah.
coordinate with them.
That's what you're working with them, guys.
Yep, and just bringing, obviously, I would imagine an application will eventually come to you, but it won't be for this temporary thing, unless for some reason I go there and see something that's really of concern, then you would see it sooner. But otherwise, I agree with Rodney, this is more due diligence.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I'll send you some of those pictures.
Okay. So in terms of, I'm not sure if you want to do a motion, this is more as of right, or?
Motion for as of right activity?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Alrighty, anything else?
As of right now, no.
Any little interesting stories or pending that you won't be shot if you tell us about?
Well, I would say, I mean, the one that we just talked about, obviously, it appears, you know, if they're doing this level of due diligence, I would imagine general commercial zone, we'd be seeing something there.
Yeah.
Topography is gonna play,
yeah.
a huge role there.
Yes.
Be it from, getting a road and access. That's a state road as well,
Right.
so,
It's gonna look just like Lisbon.
It will, yeah.
yeah.
All
The
the
other side, the
switchbacks.
other side of that wetland
Yeah.
too, like the road frontage side.
Yep.
All that area is not that bad, but on the
Yeah.
other side,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's moving towards like 1892 property and stuff. That's where I broke an ankle doing a inspection, so it's bony out that way. Other than that, I do have one for Amy, since she's on right now. Amy, you did
Yes.
ask for some records, but they were outside of our town. So for Kennedy Drive, I do have that
Yes.
application here. So whenever you were ready,
Okay.
feel free to stop by.
Thank you.
Allison
Do you-
pulled that for you.
Our wonderful Allison sent that to me. She emailed them to me.
Okay. Oh,
Yes, I was
I have a hard
very
copy if you would like it.
appreciative. Okay, thank you. And yes, actually, it would be helpful to look at the
Yep.
hard copy, just for my understanding. Very good. Thank you very much.
Yep. I have nothing else that I can comment on that in terms of pending, but I believe that I believe we'll be busy in the next month or two with some stuff. So, there's only so many sites left, and most of them have. Well, they have wetlands, yeah, of some sort. Yep. Yep. That being said, I don't believe we have a council liaison on tonight. I didn't know, I spoke with Mr. Grandowski, who's not our council liaison. He was, interested in some of our applications tonight. He wished us well, but he could not make it, because I think he was happy to share with you guys last month. And I can check in terms of the status of our normal liaisons. But otherwise, I have nothing else for you tonight.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carries. Thank you for joining us, Amy.
Thank you, folks.